Welcome to the Shake Up Podcast. I'm your host and co-founder of Mr. Consistent, Jarrad Bell. This is a podcast where we invite friends of the brand into our studio. We get to know their story a little bit better. We chat all things business, culture, and marketing, all while shaking up a few cocktails. This week on the Shake Up Podcast, I'm joined by my co-founders, Jeremy Davidson and Michael Sebire. 21 has been a wild year that has been felt by the entire globe in different ways, but 21 was also one of the most pivotal for Mr. Consistent as a business. Wrapping up the year and chatting about all things internal growth, scaling up, turning a 50-person team into a 120-person team, and taking home the Australian Young Entrepreneurs Startup Award. It's been nothing shy of thrilling, and we've made some huge waves this year, and we've made a heap of memories doing it. Let's take a trip down memory lane with the three founders of Mr. Consistent as we reminisce on all the incredible things we've achieved throughout 21 as a team, business, and beyond, while sipping on a few cocktails. All right, welcome to another episode of the Shake Up. This week, we're going to wrap up the year with my co-founders, Jeremy and Mikey. How the bloody hell are you?
Good, mate. What a year.
What a year.
An absolute stonker.
Bit to talk about.
We got a bit on here. Like, Kersten's got like a list here of like Espresso Martini, subscription, Margie Kitchen, wholesale, staff growing, new kitchen build, Young Entrepreneurs Awards, Blushini launch, and Spritz launch, which is probably only just launched when this episode comes out, which is pretty sick. So we've done a bit. Plus there's like Colarita launch in there as well. There's a whole bunch of like the amount of
El Peachy was this year?
Yeah, El Peachy was this year, but I think it was before.
That was definitely before we had the last chat.
Before we recorded the other 2.5
last
hour
was
episode.
On the eve of, I think, of Espresso.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's pretty close. I think we even might have been drinking it in it. I might have been drinking it in that episode.
Yeah, we might have.
I don't even know where to start. Like, Kirsten's written a bunch of questions. I haven't even read the questions because I kind of wanted to read them with you guys and go through them with you guys, I guess. But I guess, how's 21 been for either of you? Mikey?
Good.
Move forward on the microphone.
Maybe a bit of that this episode.
In the last, 6 months?
You've become quite the cameraman in front of the camera. Like, subscription boxes every month. Like
every month. That's what I do now. The skills haven't improved, but the love for it has a little bit, to be fair. I think overridingly good. It's been a great year. It's been hard. It's been pretty labor intensive, but I couldn't be happier, like we've been able to achieve a whole bunch of shit I wouldn't have dreamed of achieving. We've grown, we've learned, we've changed. It's been a fucking awesome year.
How are you, Jez? How are you feeling?
Yo, mate, it's like mind-boggling to think about what we as a company have achieved this year, and kind of, they're watching some of our people grow into amazing positions, watching what the brand's been able to do this year with outreach, some of the new accounts that have come on board. Like, I think the overriding feeling is immense pride in what we've been able to achieve, but also gratitude for everyone that's kind of been along the journey, and whether it's a customer or a person or whatever, like it's, really, really humbling to see what's happened. It's been fun.
I feel, my overarching feeling is super grateful for everything that, I don't know, we've asked a lot from our team. We've asked a lot from our staff. We've asked a lot from our accounts. We've asked a lot from, I guess, for me, from our families. From our partners. We've asked for a lot, some way, shape or form. Everything we've asked for has, I feel like, come to fruition in one way or another.
I think it was that time, probably maybe September or October, and we've been working on all of the irons being in the fire, and we were like, okay, we've got all this stuff on the boil, and if 20% of it comes off, we're going to be looking really good. And then all of a sudden everything happened, and we're like, strap in, lads, here we go. So it's been nuts, but it doesn't happen without everyone else.
It would have been interesting if we hadn't aligned on this question. If we had two fucking awesomes and a shit.
Yeah.
That's all right. Kind of average.
I'm burnt out. I'm hurting.
Well, I think we're all hurting. It's been a year.
I think we are all hurt. But I don't know. Yeah, I still love coming to work every single day. I still I'm disappointed when I miss the 9:30 stand up. If I've got to drop Lola at Kindy or something like that, I'm disappointed because I want to hear what the team's done, what we've achieved the day before, being down in that level. I love it. It's really exciting to me still.
Yeah, it's epic.
Cool. What's the thing you're most proud of? Mikey, this might be
I really like what the direction that we're taking and what we've achieved so far with the subscription boxes. You know, that's something that, and it's dead fun as well. You know, like it's mass producing pre-mixed cocktails. Awesome, and a privilege to be part of it and all that, but it's not necessarily as creative as I've been able to be in previous jobs. Whereas this is sort of harks back to that and really lets the juices flow a bit.
Yeah.
You know, and I have, with everything in the business, you know, like I have pinch myself moments all the time. But I caught myself the other day, and we get, we can brand drop, right? We're not Triple J. We can say things.
No, yeah. Yeah, you can say whatever you
We just ask them for money afterwards.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, we mentioned you. Here's a bill.
We had, I was making Marley Spoon the other day, and I was like, it'd be fucking rad to put these recipes together to be like a chef and do these things. And then I stopped myself and was like, actually, that's what I do.
That's what I'm doing.
That's what I do for a living. This is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say that's something I'm probably, it's right up there, you know, like there's a lot to be proud of this year. As conceited as that might sound, it's not intended to be. We've achieved some amazing things, and there's a lot of things that I'm really, really stoked on, but that's probably the one that I'm most excited about and really happy with where we're taking it, you know?
The subscription box is like, it must be so weird for you because you've come from like working in a bar and having to create a cocktail list, like, you know, however many cocktails are on a cocktail list, anywhere between 12 and 30 odd, maybe 2-3 times a year.
Yeah.
You're doing 12 cocktails every month.
6 every month.
Yeah, 6 every month. But there was a period there for 12 months where you just worked on like making our product and like a bulk manufacturing and being able to scale a cocktail to going back to absolutely getting rinsed in creativity.
Yeah, but I love that, you know, like those are things that I do when I'm not working, you know, whether it's necessarily directed at drinks or food or whatever, you know, like being creative like that is something that I do
anyway
for fun, you know, so it's good that I can do it and kind of have a broader audience than just my wife that's sitting on the couch waiting for dinner at 11:30 at night.
I think that for me, the thing about subscription, and particularly for you in it, is that it's not just allowing you to be creative, it's allowing everyone who engages with our brand, and like they can work along and do the same stuff that you're doing in your creativity, and that's pretty exciting for everyone, you know, having a go. I know we've had loads of great feedback on it, and it's pretty awesome to see that.
Yeah, it's really cool that we've been able to reach out to people and get people making cocktails, and not just like cracking a can or cracking a bottle and pouring it out. They're actually making a cocktail.
For those who don't know, like the subscription box, you infuse vodkas, gins, you make herbal syrups, you make like the list goes on. Like if you haven't experienced a subscription box, go check it out and have a look. But it is very intricate and in detail and fun, if you will, like and actually creating the cocktail versus, like you said, cracking a can or cracking a bottle. Yeah,
but I mean, like in our general identity, you know, like we allow people that opportunity to make their own cocktail. We take out the guesswork and the hard bit of it, but they're still doing it. You know, like they're still putting the things together in a tin and they're shaking it and they're making it, they pour it, they garnish it. They're still making cocktails. Yeah. It's really cool to be able to advance their skill set that little bit more and advance their ability and their creativity that little bit more, you know? Love it.
What about you, mate?
Mine's very like holistic, if you like, but for me, just watching the business and the people in it going from, you know, what was legitimately a garage kind of operation into something which, you know, through planning, lots of good communication, a really strong management squad with commitment to actually executing, we've now become this kind of, we're a pretty big business now, you know, and that's kind of been the thing that I've been most proud about, and kind of really formulating that, the brand identity, the systems, the structures, and just scaling up, you know, as we're putting in these monstrous tanks at the moment, that is a metaphor for what the whole business has done. And we've gone from, you know, cooking in, what was it, 35 litre tanks, 35 litre like kettles essentially, and we're putting in 3,000 litre mix tanks, you know, so it's a completely different, but that is probably my most proud thing of actually seeing, like, we all sat around and dreamt about it, but actually seeing that stuff come to fruition and seeing the end goal. We're not there yet, but seeing the end goal, that's absolutely mad. Like, so that's it for me.
I thought we'd made it when the 35s arrived. I remember being at work and they came in, they got delivered, and I was like, these are fucking huge. Like, look at us go. Going from cooking in literally a 5 litre legit saucepan. And then those arrived, and I was like, look at us. This is, we're there. We made it, baby.
Yeah.
And it's wild to see the big stainless tanks come in now.
That's madness, hey? But for me, it's probably, I don't know, we've scaled very quickly. We've employed a lot of people very quickly and very rapidly, and we're making a lot more product than we were 6 months ago. Like, we were at like 44 in September-ish, like July, September.
As in people?
Yeah.
Yeah,
July, August, September.
We've been under 50 in 50. September.
We're at, 120?
Yeah, 120 now.
120, like, and to be able to keep the culture and the people as engaged, and like they feel the same way that we all feel about the business. Like to have that many people being like, fuck yeah, I work at Mr. Consistent, or like, yeah, we make cocktails, or like talk about it the way we talk about it. That's probably my most proud moment. Like when you see or you overhear somebody, like, we're at a cafe the other day and one of the ladies was like, oh yeah, we're going to get some Mr. Consistent this week and have a drink, and all, like you overhear people talking about it, or that somebody else works at Mr. Consistent. They're like, oh, such and such works at Mr. Consistent. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know him, but they don't know that I am part of Mr. Consistent. Like that proud, and when people talk about your business, like with that excitement, that's probably that's the thing for me.
It's a pretty bizarre feeling when you're sitting in a, like you say, in a cafe or a restaurant or even an Uber, and the person doesn't know anything, and you're just talking about stuff, and then it pops up, and you're like, oh, is it a bit cocky if I say like I'm one of the owners? So you don't say it, and then you just listen, and then like I've never ever heard anyone say anything, negative, and that's pretty cool, and actually quite the contrary. It's always been really positive, so it's nice to know that what we're doing is actually changing, a bit of the scene out there, which is fun.
Have you ever claimed it? I haven't. I'd much rather just be a fly on the wall and just see what people say, but I think
it gets to that really awkward part of the conversation where, like, and it's been when I've been in an Uber and you start talking about it, and then you go too far down the line, and then they're like, so what do you do? And you're like, oh, actually, actually, you know what? Normally I tell them I work at Mr. Consistent. I don't think I've ever said to anyone that I'm one of the owners. I think I always tell them I work at Mr. Consistent.
Yeah. I don't claim owner. Just because it feels a little bit.
It feels wanky. I get hammered by my daughter's kindy teachers because they all like they're in the demographic of our customers. So they're like, oh, I saw that new mix you're launching, or like they're all hinting like, hey,
a lot of hints. Hey, around,
the cocktails coming this way. Like obviously I do the podcast and my face is plastered all over the Instagram and bits and pieces, but like I get fucking hammered, by
and to that note, if any of Lola's kindy teachers are listening, Layla's going to be going there in a couple of years, and we need a spot. So
hook it up,
make it happen.
But like I took in some mixes and stuff for like their last day as Christmas presents. They were like, "This is sick, thank you so much," and like to like be able to give something that I guess I provide jobs from, and that kind of stuff's pretty cool. And they're all very engaged, and like when you have people that engage, like it's pretty cool.
You know what I still find mad is how diverse the people are that are excited about our product. Like the kindy teachers, and that's our normal target demographic, and you kind of expect them to be quite excited about it almost. But I gave it to the builders who are doing the work here, and they were like, "Oh, I can't wait to get into it. I'm so excited." Blah blah blah. And I was like, I didn't think you'd be really into it. This is awesome. So it's, that still mind boggles me every time when you think about who's drinking our stuff and how wide that demographic is.
I think everyone loves ripping the top off of Margie.
Can't go wrong.
I love it. What else? Fuck. There's a question here. Most drunk cocktail of the year. It's obviously a margarita.
For us, the most drunk one for us. Yeah, mine would definitely be various forms of margarita as well. But
chili mugs, coconut mugs.
Yeah.
What about you, Mikey? What's your?
Finished cocktail, certainly margarita. I still have a little bit of PTSD from the
Espresso
making
Martini.
of the espresso.
That is probably your most drunk
Oh my
cocktail
God,
in the
there were
warm
a
up.
lot of incarnations of that drink before we got it to where we were happy with it. But yeah, I think finished cocktail, like out of a Mr. Consistent bottle, definitely marg.
Oh, and I think it's been the most hammered by our customers as well.
Yeah,
Like, they
absolutely.
love it. Like, it is.
I'm looking forward to seeing what this spritz range does and how that affects it. Because for me, I reckon we got some excitement. Can we talk about it? We can talk about it.
We may as well rip into it.
Yeah.
Good segue.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Been working on that one.
We are like, because we're this, depending on when's this podcast coming out, Kersten? Is it next week? So just after Chrissy. Next
day.
Yeah, next day after the launch party, we will have just had a massive party at Burleigh Bowls Club.
Yeah, hang on. We should all should we be more hungover in this thing to set the scene?
We will have just had a launch party at Burleigh Bowls Club. It's we're doing a margarita spritz, a sangria in a can, and a mojito. And the idea is that you have a can, you pour your Bacardi in, or your tequila, or your red wine, pour this over the top, add some ice. That's it, done. You've got your spritz. That's the goal.
We keep it simple, right?
Keep it simple.
But mojito. Mojito's going to overtake margarita for me. The mojito is
product
off
in this can
chops.
is amazing.
Oh.
Like, it is insane.
And the wonderful thing about that is like it can sit anywhere, you know, like with all of our stuff, you can buy it anywhere. But this is because it's the same ethos. We use the fresh ingredients.
Yep.
It's all real gear in there. You can buy it at a petrol station or a servo, and it's going to be head and shoulders above everything else that's in there. So yeah, but the mojito,
it is banging.
can't wait.
You excited, Mikey?
I'm dead excited. I'm real
This
stoked
is one
on
of the
mojito
products
as
you
well.
put so much love and care into.
They're going into
Freaking
cans
amazing.
today, right? Well, as we're filming this,
Yeah,
they're going
Yeah.
into cans right now.
Right
Yeah.
now.
madness. But the party's going to be sick. Well, it was sick.
Yeah.
The party was sick. But the idea of this product, I guess, for reference, is something we identified this year was we want to be a part of festivals. We want to be a part of
Sports events,
stadiums. We want to be part of like things like the Australian Open. We want to be part like anywhere. And most people don't know this, but most festivals or public events that have like a general admission ticket, the rule is 4% ABV is the most amount of liquor or the ABV that it can be. Our cocktail as it stands doesn't get us anywhere close to that because it's, I think, 1.5 standard drinks and only 75 mils of mix, where this product here will get us to that 4% ABV. And we want to give a premium offering to festivals and events and all those kind of things, which I'm super excited about because our demographic deserves a premium offering.
Imagine instead of, you know, drinking what you'd normally drink at a festival, or sitting drinking mid-strength beers at the cricket or whatever, you know, you're knocking the top off a couple of kind of Mr. Consistent mojitos or what have you. Like,
we love a beer as
So
much.
about
We love a beer as much as the next person. But seriously, like, imagine ripping a mojito off at the cricket.
imagine the turbo shandy we can make.
Basically, in a nutshell, our options were reducing the alcohol that go into it or reinventing our offer so that we can put more volume into the mix. And I don't think any of us wanted to reduce the alcohol.
Well, no, and don't get us wrong, it doesn't have to be 4%. You want to go half rum, half mojito mix, you knock yourself out.
Yeah.
You might do.
You want to spice it up? Spice it up.
Yeah, excited.
No, I think this product will, like, the run we're doing is a test run. I think it'll be available online from pretty much today. This goes live. It'll be online. We're gonna trial it out, see what people think, get some feedback, and then figure out how big our production run will actually be. Because all the ingredients and everything are exactly the same as what goes into our current bottle, except for the mojito, because we don't make a mojito. It's exciting.
Yeah.
That's a banger. What about staff growing to over 100? Like, that was.
I sent a message to one of my mates who lives in Canada the other day, and I'd not messaged him since last September. We'd spoken in that, but I hadn't like sent him a message. You know how you get your last one up?
Yeah.
He'd asked me how everything was going, and I sent him a message saying it's wild. We've got 16 staff and I can't believe that this has happened. And now we're at like 120. You know, like
it got very real for me yesterday as I was whizzing around trying to buy Christmas gift bags for everyone to put their stuff in. And like every store had 10 of them. And I was like, this would be way easier if we didn't have 120
12 Christmas shops.
Yeah, exactly. Man.
It's crazy. Like it's probably not affected me as much as it probably has you guys, obviously helping out with production, and then Jeremy doing fucking payroll for that many people, like time sheets, and like that shit's like, that's a lot of people to manage. And I got to give it up to our managers as well. Like we got to a point where it's like, we just need more hands. And we were just like, you have to, like, I remember those days where we'd have trials every day. We'd have 2 or 3 people on trial in the production kitchen, in the warehouse, and bits and pieces. And some of those people have even now have transitioned into other roles. But it allowed also a couple of people that were in those entry-level roles to step up and go into more exciting roles within the business as well.
It's been semi-organized chaos for the last few months, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But the impressive bit is somehow everyone and shout out to Liz, somehow everyone that we've brought on has still been awesome. Like I've been employing people for roles when I have like a 8-man strong bar team. And you get fucking plums then. We've got 120 people. And somehow all the big recent upflex, everyone's awesome.
Yeah.
It's honestly, I think I said this last time out, I love big teams, and I love kind of seeing how you can motivate and engage and empower people to get stuff done, and watching. I think particularly impressive is the realignment that we had to have halfway through the year when we were like, wow, we're upscaled too quick and we're running out of money and we've got to tighten things up. And then the realignment of, okay, how are we actually going to get this done? But watching our management team put a plan in place and then watching that team continue to grow, that's been absolutely awesome. So
we had like the coming of ages. It must have been like, when was it? September, October? Like, I don't even remember.
Yeah, about September.
Maybe like August.
But we kind of like, we'd had all these, like the teams just grew and grew and grew. And then we were like, all right, let's realign everyone and bring everyone back in. Cause was when it was chaos and the ball was being dropped here and there by different teams in different places. But as soon as we got everybody in a room, we're like, rightio guys, you guys have to talk. You guys are the ones that are making this happen. I'm not going to communicate from marketing to wholesale and wholesale to production. Like we're us three as owners can't do the communicating for you guys anymore. It's you guys talking to each other because there's too much shit going on here, and they've done an amazing job of being able to get there.
So impressed. Like, yeah, we are really blessed with the people that come on board with us. So thank you.
Thank you to everyone. If you are listening, hopefully they listen.
Hopefully they do. They probably saw ours. They probably listened to all the other ones and they saw us and were like, yeah, fuck that. We listened to that enough.
Skip this episode. We'll go back to the Love Island episode last weekend. That sounds more exciting than these 3 idiots. I guess the pinch me moment, what's like the one thing that stood out that we've gone like, holy shit, this is happening, or this is like, I don't know. There's been a few for me. Like probably the one that I was most unexpected was the Young Entrepreneur Award thing. Like that was I reckon I got hit up 3 times on LinkedIn, Facebook, email. I was like, hey, you guys should put an application. And I was like, nah, man, not our speed, not our style, is what it is. And then a friend of mine actually was like, nah, I'm going to nominate you guys.
Yeah.
And then they sent through the form and they're like, could you fill this out? And we're like, fuck, what do we got to lose if we do fill it out? And we filled it out. And I think we went to the night, we booked accommodation. We hadn't had a night together in ages with our wives. And we're like, fuck, let's just we'll go have a drink, we'll stay at Sheraton and enjoy the night at the very least.
Yeah, have a proper knees up.
Yeah. And it must have got to like, it was like the third last award we won or something.
I think the things that we thought, oh, this is what we might be up for,
it was like
were things like
distribution
and food and beverage
and food and beverage and stuff like that.
Warehousing. So we got past all of them and we're like, well, we're highly unlikely to need to go up and get anything now. So let's give this a nudge.
Let's have a drink.
Yeah, now we don't need to hold back any longer. We can definitely let the hair down and do what we want now.
And then literally you guys went to the toilet like, oh, fuck, it is what it is. Like, went to the toilet and then you came back and then within 2 minutes the next award was read out and we were nominated. And I was like, because we'd already been nominated for one earlier. I was like, that was it. We didn't win, is what it is. And then we won. I was like, and it was startup of the year.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was like there's some weird surreal feeling where like I was like, my body emptied and I was like sitting back watching myself like, get up, you idiot.
Yeah.
Get up.
Especially with all of those people that were in the room as well. Like that's one of the mad things is, you know, we like to think we're doing a good job, but there's also a lot of other businesses doing amazing stuff out there. And for us to be recognized and, you know, as part of that group of people is pretty
even
awesome.
to be nominated, even be in the room with that group of peers is awesome, you know, and it was pretty surreal at the start when you're there and you go and you arrive and it's all like glitzy and stuff. To see all the other people and recognize the other businesses that are there and be like, fuck, we're considered in the same league, same realm as these people.
Big businesses in that room, like people with like $16 million worth of contract work.
That was humbling, you know, that was really cool. And then to walk away with a gong was huge.
Do you mean a shoey?
Awardie.
An awardie. Oh, nice. Nice.
That was probably the best bit when we got invited back up on stage.
Absolutely the best bit. I thought we were going to get in trouble. Because we got it and immediately after we had a break. And so we naturally, what else are you going to do? You just start drinking off the award. And then they came back in and they were like, all right. Yeah, video. And they're like, all right, can the Miss Consistent boys come up to the stage again? And I was like, fuck, we're going to dress down like little kids. Like, it's just actually happening.
Well, and we still went up. Yeah.
And we went up and they were like, so we've never seen this happen before. Like, really? But never seen this happen before. Show everyone what you do with your award.
Old mate looked me dead in the eyes. He goes, you know where this is going, don't you? I was like, here's my champagne.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, that was good fun. That was amazing.
For me, the pinch me moment was when things that we've been working off, like the big one that we've talked about as a business for a long time has been Dan Murphy's and kind of the national retail accounts, if you like, and actually also having to strategize how we make sure that, you know, the not national chain, the more boutique-y style still have something which is special. So that's been pretty cool navigating all of that. But that moment when we got the, hey, Dan Murphy's has placed their first order, and then the next week it was, hey, Dan Murphy's won 10 times that first order, and hey, next week Dan Murphy's still going. Like, that's been incredible. And that's been the one thing that I guess since the conception of the business, particularly for a drinks product, we want it to be accessible for everyone, and we want everyone to get around it.
It's a cocktail drink. Like it belongs in a bottle shop. And I think we talked about it last time was how hard we'd actually found it to get into bottle stores.
Yeah.
Like a product that literally belongs in a bottle shop store, but bottle shop attendants didn't really get around it or didn't understand it or what we were selling. Like that was like, and that we had so much success with boutiques because they're like, shit, yeah, cocktails.
Yeah.
It's something we can actually sell that talks to our demographic. And that's probably one of the other exciting things for me is like being able to nurture and continue on with all of those retailers and not remove sales from the boutique stores or independent retailers, but be able to start to do some volume of our really core key products through those bigger retail chains, but also be really accessible. So you can drive within 5Ks and pick up a bottle of Mr. Consistent because people were driving in Sydney upwards of 50Ks to go buy 2 or 3 bottles.
And that's why we create the demand, and then the big guys go, oh, yeah, okay, you're selling a lot, let's go. But that's been the one thing for me where I've gone, you know what, if that was our North Star, as we call it, you know, that's been one of the things that's been pretty exciting to actually have that come off.
I love the false economy of the efficiency there of being like, cannot be fucked making my own margarita. I'll drive 50Ks so someone else can make it for me in my own house.
That's what retailers were telling us. Like legit saying like people like rang up and they're like, hey, can you hold 3 bottles? I'm coming in from like Bankstown into Paddington CBD to buy a bottle of margarita mix or 3 bottles. Like I'm on my way.
That's awesome. That's so humbling that someone will go to that much effort.
If that person was you, please let us know.
Yeah,
I hope you're listening. Thank you.
Like that kind of shit. That was pretty amazing. I think.
Yeah.
What do you think 21's taught you? It's taught me a fucking lot. I think you guys have taught me a lot as well. 21. I feel like
I'd like to think that we've learned a lot from everyone in the business. You know, not just the 3 of us, not just the management team or anything like that. You know, like you can learn something from everyone you come across in your life. And I've learned things from the newest recruits and all that, you know, like I'd like to think that resonates amongst everyone. But I guess the overriding bit earlier in the year was certainly understanding the fragility of it all. You know, like on the back of the wave of success of the end of last year, just being like, we're invincible. We're just going to keep fucking killing it and things are going to keep going our way and all that. And then even as they still felt like they were, it's the first time that I've been the owner of a business and that the buck stops with you if they're not, you know, and you have these moments of being like, surely we're still killing it. And then you look at some P&Ls and some balance sheets and stuff and go, we're not
very
killing.
good. Yeah, because I don't know, as a business, people look from the outside in, they don't see any of that. So they're always pumping your tires. They're like, fuck, you guys are killing it. You're doing so well, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, on the inside, I'm like, I feel like a pretender or like a imposter because like, our brand is killing it. But in the back end, we are slightly suffering with cash flow and different bits and pieces of the business and keeping the wheels turning. Like,
I think that listening to everyone's feedback and stuff, you know, that we're still a business that has done it relatively. We're very blessed to have had some finance for our new facility, but other than that, we've done it on our own, you know, and we're not coming out of a place where we've got pockets full of money just to throw into stuff, and this is something where we've tried to finance everything without having to reach out for the daily cash flow, and that's one of the things that if we're going to do that, we're going to eat some pain, and I think that's been a learning for this year for sure. Yeah. The other one as well is the finding, particularly for me, having just started my family this year, if you like, you know, and had a newborn is
this time last year you were literally had a newborn.
Yeah.
Like
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks, a week old or something.
So trying to find that balance of, you know, having a baby that requires your time and effort, a wife that requires your time and effort, and a business that requires your time and effort, and trying to balance all those things, and then acknowledging that sometimes you don't get it right, and that's been a major learning, and I think it's probably going to be a continuous learning. I'm sure you two with your young families can attest to that as well.
Yeah.
Mine, my daughter, it's about to get even weirder again for me because she goes to like kindy or school next year, and it's school hours. So like my life changed again. Currently she goes to she gets dropped off 9:30, picked up 4:35. It's 7, like she's going to school in New South Wales, so it's 7:30 till 1:30 every day, and I've got to drop her off at that time, pick her up at that time. So there'll be a little bit of adjustment for myself again. But this year for me is probably be me finding myself in terms of working in a larger team and learning how to guide teams versus do the work for teams.
Can't do everything when we need 120 people to do it. That's for sure.
The Spritz can launch party poster was literally like, if I was to design it, that is exactly what it would look and feel like. And I've been able to get the marketing team to a point where I can guide them and say, this is how I want it to look, feel, and that they can literally produce what I have in my brain with just me telling it in words without having to actually do the work. And download, like we talk about downloading the IP into the team. I feel like I've been able to do that really well this year. Yeah, which is exciting.
That's a major learning curve, isn't it? When you go from like literally this time last year, the three of us were still running around doing most of it and like putting it in the van and delivering it out and putting it into the bottles and all that kind of stuff. And then this year we've got to find people and engage people and try and get them to see what we're trying to see and the fact that we're trying to get these cocktails out to everyone and we're changing the face of the way the cocktail industry operates in Australia. And that's pretty hard sometimes when, you know, some of the stuff that the guys in the production facility do or the warehouse do, let's face it, it isn't glamorous, but every single person along the step makes a difference to the customer's end result. So if it's that person who makes sure that the cap's put on right and there's no nicks on it, or the everything's batched out perfectly so to the recipe, or the person packing the box to make sure that when someone opens it up it looks fucking amazing, you know, and you get that moment, every step along the way is important. And that's a thing that, I think as we keep growing, it's going to be a pretty wild learning for particularly the three of us to make sure people do it the same as what we want it to done.
And just so people know, we do fuck up. Like, we do make mistakes. This is not a perfect business.
I was just going to say, what's amazing is when your team smokes you on what you've been able to achieve. Like you were saying before about the poster being exactly how you put it together and how it looks and feels and all that was basically just exactly what you would have done if you were the person doing it. But since I stepped out of the kitchen, it has become so much more professional. And they have smoked nearly 3 times the productivity that I was able to achieve when I was there. And like, fair dues to the boys, they have busted their ass to do it. But yeah, like I remember some figures that we punched out Black Friday week last year, which was about our zenith. And the boys now are just smoking it, you know, like they're just leaving that in their dust as numbers that might not have ever even, might as well have never even existed, you know. They're just like, just right on the door of 3 times what I was able to do.
I think that's one of my things.
It's a way more professional outfit, you know, like you go in there now and it's just, they are head and shoulders above where we were. And like we've grown as a company, you know, like it's not just I was fucking slapdash and I didn't really care. We were doing everything that we could then, but as a company we've grown a lot. And
we're watching what that kitchen's like. I remember very, very wide eyes when we were going into September, and I said, "Oh, we've hired this gear and we've put a new kitchen in, so you guys can produce in that kitchen and that kitchen, and the goal is to do 20 batches a day." And then both looking at me and going, like, honestly, there was a moment there where I thought one of them was going to say, you're dreaming, see you later. Because I think at that stage we were doing about 8 batches a day. And I said, nah, we need to do 20. And that moment where
I remember the room going silent.
And they were like,
I remember
can't
being
happen.
silenced. I remember being amongst them going, not happening. You know, like we were able to smoke out, I think,
they've done
12 Black Friday week last year and that was the most that we'd done, and they've hit 23s since then. You know, like,
to their credit, they smash it out of the park, and that probably one of the learnings as well for I guess all 3 of us, but particularly that I've taken on board is that when you set something which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we're trying to achieve something with this business in getting accessible cocktails to the whole world, which is to some people just you're laughing, you know, you're having a joke, but we're trying to make it happen, and that will only happen if we set some kind of pretty silly targets to some of our guys and then help nurture them through it, but and expect them to figure it out. And like I say, to their credit, absolutely incredible. They've done it, and same thing in the warehouse. You know, we're 800 orders a day they're thrown out of the warehouse, and 6,500 items a week. You know,
that's not even including like the wholesale part of the business. Like, that's just our online. Like, and that's a pretty laborious pain in the ass to pack bottles and glassware and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, 800 like Black Friday, like those people are like over and above.
It's nuts, and we sit here in what is probably perceived sometimes as an ivory tower, asking people to do the impossible, and then they do it, and then they go, wow, we can make the impossible happen. Yeah. And it's not because we did it, it's because someone else was smart enough to actually figure that shit out. We just went, hey, if we're going to do this, we need to do that.
Our audacious goals. We need someone to fulfill them.
Yeah, can someone help make this happen? And they're going along the way and doing it, you know, it's incredible.
Yeah. That part's been amazing this year. Like,
circling back, I'm really sorry, and we can probably slice this back or something. I don't know.
No, go for it.
Speaking of people with skill sets, thanks, Kersten. One of the proud moments I've had was our Christmas in July party. Not just because I love Christmas, but because as a business, watching everyone come in and bring their families and everyone get together and just kind of with no agenda, no nothing, just genuinely spending time with each other and enjoying it. That was amazing, and kind of watching the kids doing snow angels on the ground and all that kind of stuff, like all that. That's what I think when the three of us sat down and said, what we want to achieve in a business and we're all family orientated, that moment was pretty sick for me. And everyone bringing their own plate of food, like
everyone cooking for each other.
Yeah. So good.
That was good fun.
Yeah.
That was an amazing afternoon, night.
Yeah.
What's been the fate? Like, we've launched a fucking couple of products this year. What's your fate? Like, Espresso Martini, subscription. What else have we launched? Blashini, Spritz. Spritz is only just launched today, so you can't really. What's been your Colorado? What's been your favorite product we've launched? Like, as a whole, campaign, rollout, like, effect, size of.
We're speaking in the future here, but I got to say, I'm really excited about my summer of mojitos. I am going to drink the fuck out of mojitos this summer. And it's a drink that I used to love, and then I had flogged out of me from working in cocktail bars in London, because you would make literally thousands of them a night in this like super high volume cocktail bar. And then like it got to the point where if someone messed one up, no one would take it. No one in the bar would take it, because you're that sick of the smell and everything. And people were like, oh, you must love the smell of mint. It smells so fresh. And you're like, nah, I'm done. I'm
had too
so
much mint.
overcooked on mojitos. But I've now sort of circled back and I love it again, but it's a pain in the ass to make. And every single one you make, you have to get like fresh mint and fresh lime. It's not like you can go, well, I've got lime from this one and I've got like mint from the previous one. I'll just top it up because it doesn't taste right, But to have all of that done for me, and like no one else does it for me.
Yeah.
Like it's at work, you make drinks. At home, you make drinks. No one else at home is ever going to make me a drink ever, and nor should they. Like that's the professional
Alice, can you make me a mojito?
I thought Bobby's making you.
Bobby does make drinks, but actually this morning the drink that he made was a.
Bobby's Mikey's 2-year-old son, for reference.
He's 3-year-old.
3-year-old son, sorry.
And loves shaking up a drink. But this morning, and it's a good thing that we can say brands, because I can give people an accurate picture of what he made me. It was a orange hydrolyte, the little effervescent tablets like a Barocca that you drop in. That sort of makes it sort of electrolyte-y and Gatorade-y. One of those with Dare iced coffee poured over the top of it. And he was like, here, Dad, I made you a drink.
It's a spider. Sparkling sauce spider.
So while people do make me drinks at home, they're not drinks. I'd like to think that we've engineered the mojito to perform a little bit better than the Dare fucking hydrolyte spider.
You've trained him well, though.
I've not trained anything. He loves it. Like, he's intrinsically just
two
about
ingredients.
making
He's
shit.
got the memo.
He's got it spot on. 2 ingredients that are pretty crucial to the starting your day off right is making sure you're hydrated and you've blown away the cobwebs from the night before in a hydrolyte, and iced coffee. Nailed it. I reckon you might be onto something.
Stay tuned for the hydrolyte iced coffee spritz.
Madness.
But yeah, I think the mojito for me is the one that I'm real excited about getting around this summer.
It's hard to put a finger on a product because I genuinely like different moods mean I drink different things, and I don't think we've released anything that I'm not stoked about. But some of the more lifestyle-y stuff, like subscription, some of the merch that we're putting out at the moment, I think is really cool, like the hats and the shirts and all that kind of stuff. Seeing picnic baskets as well, like some of the other value adds. Our core stuff is always going to be our mixes, and they're always going to be great. But yeah, some of the other stuff that we're doing as well, the card game, the podcast, the like I say, the merch, all of the other stuff that we're, creating this cocktail life around.
The brand as a whole.
Yeah.
Everything.
I think that's been pretty sick watching that all evolve and grow.
Yeah. Espresso Martini was super fun for me. It's the one that was like, it took us the longest to figure out. Like, it was like 5 months to get the recipe right, probably longer. I don't remember. Like, you drank coffee for a fair fucking chunk of time.
I drank a lot of
I'd love to do the maths on 5 months of probably 10 shots of coffee a day for Mikey. Minimum. And what that does to your nervous system.
I'm not like, I like coffee and I drink coffee, but I'm not one of those people that thinks it's an appropriate excuse to behave
Erratically.
I just retracted a word from that. To behave badly, you know, people that like are a bit of a dick and go, oh, I haven't had my coffee today. You know, like, I hate those people. Like they're almost as bad as the full moon people. The full moon people are the fucking worst. But the people that are like, oh, I need to have my coffee before I can function as a decent fucking human being. Sorry to those people that are listening. But I don't mind coffee, but I don't live for it like that, you know?
Yeah.
And over that period, I consumed so much coffee. It was just wild, you know? Like,
You didn't have a nervous twitch before, but you do.
Coming in, you're like you like, before you even shaking the cocktail, like you're pouring the liquid in, the glass is going like this, like
This is the one. I'm sure. I've got it. Are you sure, Mikey? Yeah, definitely one.
yeah. And it was, you know, like there was so many different hurdles that we had to overcome, and one of the biggest was trying to get the intensity of the coffee in the end product once you'd sort of cooked it down. You know, like it's making an espresso martini is pretty straightforward when you've got the ingredients and they're fresh and you make them. But when you got those ingredients and you're fresh and you make them, you combine them together and then you cook it to pasteurize it so that it's shelf stable and people can keep it not refrigerated. It cooks out a lot of that flavor, and to be able to retain that intensity at the end meant that you were working with super intense, really, really strong coffee at the start.
Yeah.
So when you have that, and there were nights where I'd sort of just book out the night and be like, I did, which is what I've done before in making drinks, you know, like you go, well, I'll just stay here until it's done. But staying there till it's done when you have a normal drink, great, heaps of fun. Staying there until it's done when you're doing an espresso martini, and it means that you've had like 30, 40 more espresso martinis.
It's not good for you.
It's not good. It's not good. When we came and there was that one particular day where we met at, was it Palmy Surfy? Not Palmy, no, Talabadra.
Oh, yeah.
Talabadra the next day, and I drove there, and I was like, I hadn't been drinking. It was just like the knock on from the night before of the caffeine. I vaguely remembered driving there, you know, like I wasn't by any means close to being drunk or over the limit. But it was just this caffeine buzz that I had for fucking days at any given period over that 5 months of just trying to nail that drink. And we tried everything to get it done. There was a soy sauce one.
Yeah.
Do you remember the soy sauce? Because
I think that might have been the point where I was like, yeah, hey,
too
lay off
deep
the
in here.
coffee.
Yeah.
Have we got some decaf we can sling in this thing or what?
Because the way that we were thinking at that point was we wanted coffee intensity in the end of it and the strength of the coffee in the end of it. But that came with a fair bit of bitterness. So you'd try to chuck some salt in there to just to mellow out the bitterness.
It's like that burnt coffee feeling on your tongue of like
Yeah.
an espresso shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we were sort of focused on like a little bit of salt and just trying a whole bunch of different salts to achieve that. And there was one day where we were like, soy sauce is the answer. Like, we've tried literally everything else. It has to be soy sauce. By a process of elimination, we are on the fucking soy sauce train. And
then for the benefit of the gluten-frees, it got knocked on the head, didn't it?
for the benefit of the gluten-frees and the people that like drinks that don't taste like soy sauce.
Yeah.
But I was actually in the mindset, I was like, I think we've nailed this here. And I bought it in, and the very first person I gave it to was like, that tastes like soy sauce. I was like, oh, scrap that one off, back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Do you know what's my favorite? It's because it took that long. It literally took that long to develop it. And when we first started developing it, we thought we had it pretty early on, and it didn't work out. Like, our reps knew, and they were kind of telling people, and we were all in and around going, hey, we're bringing out an espresso martini. It's going to be banging. And everyone's like, where is it? 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 And it just kept going on and on on. And we're like, fuck, we can't put it out yet. We're not happy with it. but then we delivered like the product.
Yeah.
Like
when we tasted it in that blind tasting against like the 6 others that are on the market or whatever, like,
I was like, we've done it.
Yeah.
Like
And
we've launched the product. Like this is it.
Yeah.
that was
It
pretty
was
cool.
hard fought, but we got there, you know?
Like we didn't, that was the one where I was like, oh, I don't like, we talked about it so much. And when we did blind tastings against other products in the market, I was like, in previous ones, I was like, oh yeah, it's not the best. It's not the best. And we're like, fuck, are we going to, are we about to have to like succumb to putting out a subpar product
Something
that
not the
like
best.
something that's not the best in its field? And then we did put out, I think, what is the best in its field. Easy.
Yeah, we
By a
won't
long
ever
shot.
put something out that we don't think is the best.
But that for me
otherwise-
was like that was the win. That was like
Yeah.
that's why I love it so much, because we delivered on what we say we're going to deliver every single time.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a goodie.
Yeah. We got there.
Absolute fucking banger.
Slog.
Yeah, it was a slog.
Slog.
I hate this question, but it's in here. Where would you like to see Mr. Consistent be at this time next year?
Oh, but you're both looking at me.
This is good timing.
He's
'cause
not going to answer it because
we-
he asked it, and I don't want to answer it.
We did the strategy day the other day. We finally had time to sit down as a board and have a mission, vision. Like we've always known what our mission is and our values and all those kind of things, but we've never written them down, instilled them, and we've done that. And I feel like what we've got is very true to what we've been working as and on.
Mm.
But knowing what we spoke about the other day, like the vision that we came up with is pretty strong for me.
Yeah,
It's
I
where
think
I
it's-
wanted to be at.
I think for me, the key for like this year, our year was about cementing what we can do and putting our roots down and making sure we've got a top of the line facility that's going to keep up with our growth and making sure the brand identity is strong and all that kind of stuff. And we've nailed that. So for me, next year is about kind of setting up some more of the internal systems so that we continue to grow and take it kind of with the word global came up every single sentence almost. But we are producing a product which has the ability to, make sure people are having a good time, and that is the same globally. So yeah, pretty excited to see, for me by the end of next year or this time next year, I'd love to think that we're selling cocktails properly, not just dabbling in it in Europe and the US as well, like really starting to pump it and taking the fact that Australian ingredients make the best fucking cocktails around the world and really pump that everywhere. That's where I think we can get to, or at least be on our way to it.
Start to dabble in those areas, be dabbling properly in those areas.
Yeah, and we've set ourselves up so we can do it. So let's go. Let's make it happen.
Mikey?
I think pretty much the same, I'm the sort of person that likes dealing in actual things. Like I'm not good at forecasting stuff for the reason of it being like a probably. I like concrete sort of facts and the real. What I am super excited about is probably more so the front end of next year and us having our facilities down and all that, like we're working on the production facility that'll be done really early next year, and we'll be able to pump out like volume from there without the labor intensity of what we're working on at the moment, and just seeing excuse me, just seeing what doors that can open. And I think it'd be so awesome to have a foot in the global market, like at the moment we've got Singapore sort of moving a little bit, but we're dabbling. It'd be really cool, like you say, to not be dabbling, to actually have had some calculated attacks at it, and whether or not they've been the right moves, throwing everything at it, and then getting to the point where we have nailed it and we are actually achieving those, like having a global identity would be epic.
I'm on the same, like New Zealand, I would hope that we are fully up and running in, like fully, like we have some sort of distribution network over there. We have retail chains, we have boutiques, we have all that kind of stuff in New Zealand. That's probably the one I would like to have nailed. by the end of next year. Hoping, fingers crossed, touch wood, whatever, all those hooby doobies that you say when you want to do something. You don't want something to go wrong. The borders stay open and we can actually travel and see our product in these other markets. Because that's probably one thing. It's been a real tough slog this year to keep in touch with even our brand ambassadors or go see people in Sydney and Melbourne and create relationships. Like I've created relationships face to face for the longest time. It's really hard to do over the phone or via Zoom or something like that, especially when we have a product that is about drinking it with people, celebrating, being a part of it, and like the whole experience of what our product is when who you drink it with, what you drink it out of, trying to sell that across a Zoom meeting. Fucking really hard.
Employing people you've never been in the same room as.
Yeah.
And that's not that alien to a lot of different industries in the world, like even prior to COVID and all that. But certainly for me, like I've never, ever had somebody come on board to anywhere that I've worked without actually physically being in the same place.
Being able to shake their hand and say, hey, how are you?
And see what they're like as a person, like it's very, very weird and very alien to be sort of trying to cultivate those relationships.
That's what gives me confidence about the fact that we can do this thing globally, is we've effectively, with our people anyway, we've been able to manage them remotely and keep them engaged. And actually some of the guys that we've had remotely in the other states who we haven't been able to see have had absolutely incredible results and have been growing it hugely. It's been amazing. So there's not really a difference between that. We might have to wake up a bit earlier in the morning to have a phone call if we're chatting to them in the UK or whatever, but there's not that much of a difference between that. So yeah, I'm confident that it can, and then it's just about getting the brand alignment right and hitting it in the market and probably having a bit of good luck along the way
and shipping prices coming down.
yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be nice.
That bubble has to burst soon because it's just growing and growing, and while people are paying it, it'll keep growing, but it has to.
Elon Musk's going to hook up a cocktail network that links. You just shoot it in a spacecraft, and it links straight to the UK real soon. Like Elon, if you're listening,
it's madness. Like we're trying to do more merch and stuff. But even, like shipping anything anywhere at the moment is like in Australia. I feel like the network in Australia is, for the most part, been pretty good. Like it had a rough trot. It's come back. It's come back in a big way. There is still delay. Like times are still pushed out. Instead of 3 to 4 days, you're talking 7 to 9. Might arrive on the 10th, maybe. But we're talking 2-3 month delays internationally. Like somebody said the other day, like a container could sit at sea for 4 months before it even gets docked. Like just sitting outside the harbour. Like it's pretty bad in other countries. So hopefully those things, that bubble bursts. Is there anything you guys want to talk about?
Nothing specifically. I think we've touched on most of the things.
It's been pretty mad reflecting on 2021, and I guess we touched on it a little bit of some of the external recognition as well. But that kind of stuff, whenever we talk about it, and this is a renowning thing. I know both of you say this. When someone comes up to you and says, "Oh, congratulations, you guys are doing such a good job at Mr. Consistent," the first thing that comes out of our mouths is, we've got a team of amazing people who make it all happen. And I think that's some of these awards that are coming up, it's really a product of what the team's doing and not necessarily what we're doing. We're the whole group. It's incredible.
Well, we talk about Mr. Consistent being our business. Like the business is Mr. Consistent. Everybody in this business attributes an arm, a leg, a tooth, a tongue, a nose or whatever to him being able to be alive and interacting with customers.
Yeah. And watching those people grow as well, that's probably one of the things for next year that we're actually going to be able to, we've put the executive team in place so they can get stuff happening and we can spend a bit more time mentoring and helping people and helping our people grow as well. That's a pretty key aspect of what we're going to achieve next year, which is cool.
Yeah. Mikey, anything else?
Nothing that could really add on that, like it's, that was pretty succinct. That covered it, I think.
Well, we've got a new card game. We're going to go a little bit lighter here on the conversation. It's purple. Would you rather pack?
Would I rather pack or would I rather bottle? Would be the question.
I went
in our
with
business,
that
right?
What do we got here? Oh, this is a good one. Our business is obviously, like misconsidered, the brand is very bright, colourful, but it's all about taste. Would you rather be colourblind or have no sense of taste?
Colorblind every day of the week.
Be that bad. Give a fuck if you're colorblind.
The only negative on colorblind would be if you wouldn't know if you're eating like blueberries or a cranberry, and a raw cranberry is not that crash hot.
Yeah, I can handle that. That's fine. That's easy. And like my life has been my career has been dictated by taste. Any of you like blind, we're now talking like an actual comparison, but colorblind and no taste, bothered. I'd be colorblind every day of the week.
Yeah, so as everyone can tell, I like taste. So.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like, I don't know.
I'd probably be colorblind for like $150.
Gee.
What else would you do for $150?
I don't want to know, mate.
Oh, would you rather always sleep with one eye open or never be able to finish your sneeze?
Again, that one's pretty easy. The sneeze thing is fucked. The eye open thing, is it always the same eye? Am I just going to have one crusty dry eye for the rest of my life?
Yeah, a real crusty dry eye.
Yeah.
The sneeze thing's fucked.
Imagine that.
Can't not sneeze. That's torture when someone does that to you. Have you ever done that to someone? It's brilliant. When you see someone going like that and you go, oh.
Well,
you can stop someone from sneezing. Yeah, if you put them off too much, they won't sneeze.
Yeah,
it's really annoying.
Would you rather never receive a compliment again, lose the ability to give compliments?
I'd much rather never receive a compliment again. Like, as much as I like to have my ego stroked, it's also always kind of awkward as well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I feel the same. Oh. Would you rather always speak in third person, always speak in rhymes?
Oh, fuck. I think always speak in rhymes, as much as that's going to get... Oh.
I'd love to speak in third person. It'd be so funny.
Yeah, it would. I do like a riddle, though. If it was riddles, I'd be on to riddles. Yeah.
No, I'm going to take rhymes. I'm definitely taking rhymes.
I'm on rhymes as well.
I can make a career out of that.
Little Sebire.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many good ones in this pack. Would you rather know what everyone's thinking, have everyone know what you're thinking?
Definitely the first one. Definitely the first. I've showed my hand way too early in this.
He wants no one to know what he's thinking.
I don't know. I reckon you could avoid some pretty difficult conversations if it was just all out there and you were like...
Oh, but there'd be some dirty laundry edge, surely. Maybe you two have more wholesome thoughts than I do, but I'm definitely on the other one.
Yeah, I probably would want to know what everyone else is thinking, not them to know what I'm thinking.
I think everyone generally knows what I'm thinking ananyway. Put it out there.
I don't think it'd be very pleasant knowing what everyone else is thinking either, but I'd know what they were thinking if they knew what I was thinking, and it would mostly be disgust.
Would you rather control the weather or control time? Mikey, surely your time.
Oh.
Does the weather include the surf?
The weather includes the surf.
Oh, yeah, the weather
includes every barbecue you've ever been to in your life, every time you've ever been surfing, every time you've been to the snow. The weather would be pretty epic.
The weather would be amazing.
But on the flip side of that, if you could control time, you could go back to the time when the snow was amazing or the surf was real good. So you could probably have the best of both worlds if you control time.
If you can't tell, we like being outdoors.
Yeah.
We like the beach and the sun.
Yeah.
Time would be pretty good.
I'd say control time.
Yeah.
Because it could slow time down.
Yeah.
Extend it. Do what you want with it.
I could paddle into that really good wave without the wave moves real slow, but I'm going super fast. Yeah. I'm on time for sure.
100%.
Yeah. Again, probably good that people can't read my thoughts.
Thanks so much.
But with time, you could take that back. If you could control time, you could.
Oh, you can reverse time as well. Definitely time.
You're in control of all time. Doesn't matter what time.
We can't just slow it down and go to where we want.
Mate,
we
you can slow it down. You can go
reverse
back. You can,
Definitely that one. 100% that one.
It's your time. Do what you want with
Fuck
it.
the weather.
Thanks so much for coming in, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks,
Having a
mate.
chat.
Thanks for 21.
Reviving. And this year has been amazing. Thank you guys for being by my side, by the business side, digging in. Fuck, we've done some shit this year. I feel like we've dug in together as a group pretty hard and been able to achieve alongside the team. So it's been an amazing 21. I'm very humbled and grateful for you guys and the team, the business, stockists, literally anyone that's touched this business, I'm super grateful for.
I think we all can echo that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks to the 120 that have got us, or that are with us now. Thanks to all the other ones that have got us this far. Thanks to everyone that drinks us, listens to us, watches us, buys us, wears us, does all of it. You know, like we'd be nothing without that. So huge shout out, huge thanks to everyone.
And
humbling,
especially our families inside, outside the business. Like I think that's the one of the major things that gets us all through is that we're here for our families and trying to make it happen. And but without their understanding and support and everything, we love them. Thank you.
And a belated Merry Christmas, because it's not Christmas yet, but
and a fucking happy New Year.
Let's
go.
Let's go.
Drinking some cocktails this New Year's for sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, leave a review. Go show the Shake Up some love and stay connected. Don't forget you can watch all of our episodes on YouTube. Also, jump over to our Shake Up Cocktail Gang Facebook page where you can find out who's coming up on the podcast. And if you've got questions for them, I'll ask the bloody questions. You can also use the code SHAKEUP for 10% off on mrconsistent.com.au. Thank you so much for listening. And just remember, shit that's fresh